Good evening, everybody, and I hope that you enjoyed your wonderful long weekend if you were able to have one. So this week we're highlighting some topics related to dementia and dementia management. And dementia management, as we know, is very multifaceted. There's a lot of layers and a lot of moving parts to it. And, one thing just isn't going to solve all of your problems when it comes to dementia. So I am a speech and language pathologist by background, and naturally I'm concerned with not only somebody's cognitive functions, but their ability to chew and swallow safely and eat enough, not just necessarily that little bit that I'm doing, but I'm concerned with people's nutrition status and hydration status as well. And we try our best to work very, very closely with our facility's registered dietitians to ensure that everybody's nutritional needs are getting met. And something that maybe gets overlooked a little bit or is easy to miss is hydration in our patients with dementia. Now, as we know, patients with dementia can have a variety of swallowing difficulties just due to the dementia process itself or normal aging, or if they have any other comorbid conditions or underlying factors, such maybe history of a previous CVA or something like that. But, hydration is a very, very large concern for not only our patients with dementia, but also our entire elderly population. Patients with dementia may not want to drink enough water due to maybe they have taste aversion, or they don't recognize the cup. They don't know what to do with it. Maybe their sensations and their feelings of full have changed. And it's can be challenging to encourage fluids, and also to know how much fluids that person is actually drinking throughout the day if there's not somebody with them all the time. And as we know, dehydration can lead to lots of things such as decreased skin integrity, poor wound healing, decreased kidney function, increase in UTIs, and all of those things that somebody that's already living with dementia just doesn't need, doesn't need any extra, especially if that can be a little bit more preventable. So I was poking around online, and I came across some really interesting things about hydration and people with dementia. I'll link this blog article down in the comments, but there was a gentleman in the United Kingdom who noticed that his grandmother, who lived in a nursing home or a care home, as they refer to them, was not drinking and was not open to drinking, really had an aversion to water, it just wasn't happening. So he took it upon himself to invent a more creative way to encourage fluid intake with his grandmother, who had dementia and some kind of cognitive decline. So he essentially came up with these things. They're really neat. Like I said, I'll link this in the comments. Called jelly drops. And what it is it's like a gelatinous little ball that's brightly colored that almost looks like candy, and the person can actually eat them, and then it provides them with some level of hydration. Now, I thought I was like, okay, this is a little bit too good to be true, a little bit too fantastical, And then upon some further research, I found that jelly drops as a product had launched in 2020 in the United Kingdom, and that they were looking to further expand and launch to the United States in 2021. And the idea is to make hydration a little bit easier of a goal for patients with dementia. And he actually, in his article that he wrote, he uses his grandmother as an example, that she ate 6 or 7 of these drops, which was equivalent to a cup or 8 fluid, or what we consider 8 fluid ounces of water in a very short amount of time. And that was just amazing, because he had stated himself that it would have taken a lot longer to get her to consume that much fluid the old-fashioned way, through a cup or straw or things like that. It is important to note that on the Jelly Drops website, they do state that these are really not appropriate for people with swallowing problems, and they do recommend you consulting speech and language pathology to determine the level of safety and appropriateness. But I just thought that was a really interesting outside the box way to further help our people living with dementia still feel good and get all of their needs met. Now, those of you who have been working in neurological rehabilitation, specifically my speech pathology friends, you've heard of the Fraser-free water protocol. And the Fraser-free water protocol is a really wonderful tool and thing for patients that are on thickened liquids, to still have thin water in between meals, followed, with a very, very structured schedule of oral hygiene and the amount that you can have, so there's a lot that goes into it. But if you are able to make it work at your facility, I mean, it's a really great thing and a really great program. Now the question comes up about persons with dementia and participating in something like the Fraser-free water protocol. So, after doing a lot of thinking about this, I came to the conclusion that you would have to take it on a case-by-case basis, just in my opinion. As we know, oral hygiene can be a challenge, and basic ADLs can be a challenge for somebody with dementia, depending on their level of dementia. So it may not be a very great idea for someone who needs thickened liquids to be doing thins in between meals if they're unable to really get good quality oral care. So that's something to consider. Like I said, it would have to be a case-by-case basis, and obviously we want to make our patients living with dementia, give them as many freedoms as we possibly can. But we also need to balance that with safety, right? And doing what is going to kind of help them stay as healthy as possible. So like I said, I'll link this information about the jelly drops in the comments to this video. If you have any experience with these, please feel free to comment and let me know. I'd be very interested to hear. I just thought it was really neat. And a really great advancement for our patients with dementia. And just like similarly speaking, I had seen an article a while ago about a place in the Netherlands where they actually have a whole dementia village set up for people living with dementia, and it's a very safe space, and they can still kind of go about their what would have been their daily routines, and like it's a really, really safe environment, which was really incredible to me. I'm really. Our field continues to blow me away all the time when I'm finding things like this, when I'm finding clinicians and caregivers and family members like this woman's grandmother or grandson, thinking outside the box to just improve the quality of life of these patients living with dementia. So as I talked about, people with dementia may have an aversion to oral care and other ADLs. And Emily, another team member here at ARC Seminars, wrote a wonderful blog article about challenges with oral care and people with dementia. So I'll also link that down in the comments. So if you have questions or you'd like to further discuss this topic, or you have experience with utilizing these jelly drop things for hydration, please in the comments let me know. I'd love to hear good, bad. Like I said, it was something I just came across that I found really interesting and innovative. So once again, I'll link all those things in the comments. So I hope everyone has a great night, and I hope to hear from you.